We were anchored by Allans Pensacola Cay, along with SV Spirit Bird and SV Turned Out. This island in the northern Abacos was going to be our playground for Cory's birthday.
It's shallow!
Yeah! No better way to start off the day than with a spearfishing trip. With no reefs on the west side, we headed over to the Atlantic side. See, like there's this swell coming in from the north there.
Yeah. Well, it's a bit windy out here, and the current's pulling us out, but it looks like a decent little reef here, so we'll see what it's like. Not as good as the last places we've been, but we'll see what we can find.
Every dive starts with a quick dive down to reposition the anchor, avoiding coral as much as possible. When I see a ledge from above, I normally dive down looking for spiky antenna sticking out in front of me. If I'm lucky, I'll see one of these spiny lobsters staring back at me. There were quite a few visitors to this patch of reef today, but I was focused on the reef and didn't even notice the stingray. After diving down, I like to put about half pressure on the spear pole band before expanding it again all the way at the bottom. This way I'm ready to shoot surprised fish under ledges. I enjoy trying to push my breath hold and relax down at the bottom and wait for the fish. Unfortunately, I have a lot to learn and struggle to stay down any longer than a minute and a half or so. But, as with many things, practice makes better, I guess. So I dive and dive before finally coming back to see if Alex isn't freezing.
It's kind of crazy out there. I'm done with the free diving for now. Cory's still trying to find more corals. That's crazy, like there's swell coming in from the north and then there's a crazy wind from the south. And it's just chaotic. Being in the diggy is wet. I keep getting splashed by waves just while waiting. And right now we're just snorkeling off of Allans Cay. And before that we were at Guineaman's Cay. And it seems like there's a lot of little fish, not that many big ones. But we just saw also a fishing boat that's like grabbing everything, even the smallest fish. So, not the best place.
A little tickling action, and we got another lobster.
Woohoo! Birthday supper! With Cory's supper all caught and lunch approaching, it was time to return to our sailboat. I was ready to dry out and get out of the swell. Plus, I was really starving.
Well, the sun just came out. We're in between some thunderstorms, or at least storms anyway. And we're gonna go over to the beach, go check out the signing tree, put up our our sign here and go for a little walk, explore the island. Kind of nice, we got the trees right here. We're able to secure to without throwing out an anchor. Can't complain. You know, it's really unfortunate. I tried carving this sign because I really got into carving while I was visiting with Alex's parents, and it's just like the wood is like petrified or something. Like the knife would not go in it. Even when I drilled these holes for the screws, it would not go through. Like I had to push really hard on the drill bit. And anyway, so the wood's really hard, even though it's just like a 2x6. And but you know, I wish I would have seen this chainsaw here because it really would have came in handy for doing the carving. I'm pretty sure I could have got it running again. It doesn't look like it's in too bad shape.
There's a little trail that starts on the west side of Allans Pensacola. You can easily spot it with the Walmart parking sign and the big yellow hula hoop. It leads across the island to the Atlantic and the famous signing tree.
We are wandering through the forest on our way to put up our sign over at the signing tree. It's gonna be pretty cool because I don't think I've ever seen a signing tree. And we're here with our buddy boat, having some fun. Hey!
Hello. They're hiding in the jungle of the Bahamas. Wow, that's so cool.
Super neat. It's cool how many signs have still made it over the years. One thing, we didn't put the date, but luckily Meagan has a Sharpie that we can write to our 2020.
So much trash washes ashore at Allans Pensacola, so cruisers found a fun way to give it a second life and make very original signs.
Don't want to crowd anybody's spot, so we'll try right down here.
Too bad we only had black paint on board, because I felt like our sign wasn't very special. And the wood was a little too hard to carve, so I had no choice but to paint it. But some cruisers really had a lot of creativity.
I was not expecting this. The tree is like, I think the biggest tree I've seen in the Bahamas so far. And there's so many signs all over the place. I thought like the last hurricane would have destroyed lots of it, but it's just so neat walking around and reading all the cool signs. How's it going, birthday boy?
Wonderful. It's so cool what people have just done with garbage here lying on the beach. It's a hammock for 2 or 3.
You look for any of these sandy bits, and there's like a duck patch somewhere in the middle or something. That seems to be a little hard.
The signing tree was really special, and I could have spent much longer here reading all of the signs or exploring along the shoreline. But Cory's birthday also meant that they needed to do some baking. Time to walk back across the island and get back in my galley. baking some carrot cake in our little oven. Still works. How's your birthday so far?
It's been pretty epic, actually. It's you know, the weather didn't cooperate 100% with what I would have liked. It was a little bit murky in the water, but the sun came out for a good chunk of the afternoon, and we got to see at least a little bit, and we got a couple lobster out of it. So it was a really fun afternoon overall, and it's going to be a fun evening too. It looks like Alex is cooking up quite a feed, and we're going to have a few buddy boats over.
We have some spade fish with olive seasoning. Here I made the lobster parmesan rice. That should be pretty tasty. And let's see, sweet potato, diced tomato, kind of toast it on there.
I was just saying that, like, there's, I'm not sure whether it was, look at this.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Cory. Happy birthday to you. Woo! Make a wish.
I bet it was about fish.
This is awesome! It's so calm on this side compared to what it was last time. I'm so excited. The sun's not quite out, but it might be peeking out right as we start to dive, so this is gonna be awesome.
When I can calm myself and really relax, I like to experiment with throwing sand, but often break down and finally end up just chasing after the fish, which tends not to work. It always amazes me when I dive a spot that above the water looks kind of ordinary, but you get below the water and it's just an explosion of life.
Well, we're doing it again, replacing our cotter pin, but it almost lasted a year. This is what's left of the nail that we had cut in desperation because we didn't have a, no, sorry, not a cotter pin, a shear pin. We didn't have a new shear pin like this guy here. We bought these just this year, so we cut a nail roughly the same diameter. It looks like it was a little smaller, and it's held up pretty well for a while. You could tell there was some wear on it and stuff. But anyway, now we got a new shear pin. We'll slap that in. It was just really lucky we had our buddy boat with us because we were really quite far and it would have been a heck of a paddle to try to do. So hopefully we'll slap this sucker in and we'll be good to go again.
Wow.
They're such awesome fish with their huge spikes on their back and their huge gaping mouth. It's like, no wonder they're hogfish. They're just little piglets, I would imagine. Like, imagine the size of the fish you can get in that mouth. So we got two. One smaller one, which I was still pretty proud of because it's still a nice little lunch. But this guy's much, it's hard to get a hold of, but there we go. So we got a couple hogfish, and they're really delicious. I love hogfish. After getting my first one, now they're probably one of my new favorite fish. I think it's a bull shark.
They're circling the boat. Yeah, they want stuff. Dude, I'm not swimming off the boat.
Sure. But it's definitely the closest I've gotten to the larger sharks like that. The other sharks we saw near Nassau were not nearly that big. And once it came that close, I didn't really want to stay in the water much longer. But I try to keep my fear under control because I always felt like sharks knew when you were fearful. And I mean, we do have bloody fish right here, so anyway, probably not the best place to go for a swim.
No.
There are black tips.
They're creepy.
Hey dude, they're pretty big black tips. They're just like circling.
Attracting these guys. Actually, where's the other one? Oh, there's one over there.
Nice fillets from the hogfish. They're reasonably thick. And I also got a few chunks that I had to cut off because I don't like to waste any fish, so I got it as clean as I can get it. And the sharks are out, so I guess we're gonna feed the sharks because we don't have anything else to do with it. So we'll start with the little piece, see what they do. I know they've been around swarming. Oh, here comes one. Ah! All right, who's gonna get it first? Hopefully they don't go for a dinghy. Woo! All right, he got it. Well, they're real interested now.
And a little remora.
We absolutely love spending time in the water, snorkeling and spearfishing. I guess that's the reason why we live on a sailboat. But when the waves and the wind are blowing on the side you'd like to jump in, it's time to go for a land adventure. We read about another walking trail on the northern tip of Allans Pensacola.
We are on the north side of Allans Pensacola Cay, and apparently there's another trail, so I think it might be somewhere here. We'll go explore. Wow. Yeah, you don't want to be out today, right? Yeah, if it's free diving where we've been doing it would be not enjoyable. With over 700 islands and cays in the Bahamas, there's just so much to explore. No wonder some cruisers keep coming back year after year for 10, 15 plus years. It was only our second season here, and we were just barely scratching the surface and visiting all new islands to us.
limestone shoreline gets eroded with every wave and storm which rolls in. It's quite jagged, so we try to remember to bring our sandals or our shoes with us every time we go wandering around on land. It was nice to watch the power of the waves from the shore, and I was even happy to be here and not out there in the dinghy.
We had such a great time here celebrating Cory's birthday, spearfishing, snorkeling, walking around, and hanging out with new friends. This was the perfect day to end our time at Allans Pensacola Cay, as tomorrow we would set sail south to Wildly Cay.